Episode number 1 of the Rising Tribe Show. In this episode, you will turn every piece of content you create into a magnet for engagement and profit, because the person I am bringing you today is phenomenal. I am beyond excited to share with you today a leader, a visionary in our industry, who's someone that's going to help all of us up level our content game, rise above competitors, and show us something in a different way you have never seen before, because he's the person that opened my eyes to it. What do you say we just dive right on into the show today? And I cannot wait to introduce him to you. Welcome to the show. This is Travis Houston, founder of Rising Tribe. And today I want to make sure that you do not miss any of our future episodes. So follow, like, and subscribe wherever you happen to be watching this video right now. I want you to get more episodes like this because I am bringing the best of the best to you. Today on the show, I am thrilled to bring you one of my mentors, one of my friends. We have an absolutely extraordinary guest. You want to rise above competitors and create a premium personal brand, this is the episode for you. My guest for this episode is a visionary leader. He's influential not only in my life, but in the lives of thousands of other people online. He's an all-around media powerhouse. I can't wait to bring to you Mr. JP Hightek. JP, welcome to the show.
Hey. What's good, Travis? Honored to be here. So excited. What's happening? How's your day going so far?
You know what? I am thrilled because you are here on episode 1 of the Rising Tribe Show, and the Rising Tribe Show would not be here if it wasn't for you. So I am feeling grateful and a lot of love for you helping us get to this place where the show is actually live. So kudos to you, my friend.
Appreciate that. It is an honor. And hey, folks, he's come a long way. Man, Travis is bringing the fire. So excited and honored to be the first guest. And, absolutely. We connected. We've learned together because I've learned from you as well. And today you're taking the leap with your brand and taking the video head on here and bringing a premium brand to the world, leading with video. Can't wait to see the amazing things you'll be doing.
Well, okay, can we just stop and take a look? So let's just take a look at what JP's got going on here. Any of y'all see that background? Any of you see like the lighting? Any of you see like the handsomeness on that face right there? The quality of the video? JP, you have a great book. You've got a great website. You've been on hundreds of podcasts. You've probably done thousands of shows. Man, it's impressive what you have created out in the world. I mean, it's a body of work. I don't want to go so deep into all of your background and all of that, because through the questions that I have for you today, I know that people are going to get to know you. And at the end of this episode, we're going to go into how people can get in contact with you. But I do want to know one thing right out the gate. And I know so many people deal with this, and I've watched so many of your videos. You mentor me personally because I am coaching with you one-on-one. I think the big thing that I want to start off with today, because I just want to start giving value to the people that are here with us right now, is something that you are, I think, probably best in the world at, is not only helping other people build their own premium brand, it's being a model of how to show up online as a premium brand. And I want to talk about overcoming imposter syndrome right out of the gate, because you just show up so big. You just show up as someone who's there to give, there to support, so much soul, so much love. You're so real in everything that you do. And I really want to know, how do you show up so big consistently and give at the high level that you do and overcome any of those, man, am I the one that should be doing this? Why me? Why my voice? So would you talk to us about overcoming imposter syndrome and showing up and doing content online?
Wow, wow. First of all, fantastic, fantastic intro. Great way of, segue into this question. I mean, this is a question that is very, very important. And I'm glad that we're talking about that from the get-go. And imposter syndrome, all right? Let's forget about the word imposter right now. And let's think about syndrome, right? Syndrome tells you that this is a problem. There's an anomaly with, what you have going on. So it's like a virus, right, that attacks itself to what you have. So, for example, you have a computer, right? If you're using it and you don't have any malware protection there, your computer will suffer from viruses, right? And so in order to protect yourself from having that, right, from losing all the data you have in the computer, what do? You got to make sure that you have that protection in place, right? Have those malware protection activated. If not, you will lose all the amazing data that you have. So imposter syndrome kicks in whenever you don't have that malware protection. What am I talking about? Let me go deeper a little bit here. As a person, we all have an aspect of our life that we may feel that we're weak. So that malware protection comes to strengthen any weak areas that we have, right? Understanding that we have, data, right? Information that we believe are important to preserve or to protect. Now, as a person, we all got to believe in what we're selling. That's the thing. If you don't believe in it yourself, if you don't think that what you have to offer is of any value, and what am I talking about? I'm always talking about premium value, right? If you don't believe that is of premium value, it will be hard for you to offer that to anybody else. Even harder if you have to talk about that for anybody. You will not be able to convince anybody to buy in. You won't be able to convert as many customers or people that you want to join in. And ultimately, that will affect your rendering. Every single time anybody will ask you any question in that field, that imposter syndrome will kick in, telling you that you do not have any high value information, right, to offer. In other words, if you follow me anywhere, I always say that, right? You need to control the information that you're giving to people in the way you're giving it. But we'll dive more into it. And that is my philosophy when I think about that. I want to make sure that first I know what I'm talking about. I believe in it at a high level, meaning regardless of what room I will be in, I know that I have something of high value to discuss here. And I am the expert in the room when it comes down to that. That's the question. Do you believe you are the expert?
So let's talk about it.
And
Premium.
yeah.
Man, no one does that better than you. Listen, everything you do, your website, your Instagram, your videos, what you do for clients, the website that you just launched for that cinematographer that I saw very recently.
Right.
Premium. Would you just go deep into this for a minute? Like, what does it take? I would love to know the steps of how do you show up differentiated in the marketplace so that others perceive premium value. What needs to be in place in terms of the 1, 2, 3, 4, what 5 things do we need to have to where premium value is established?
Fantastic question. All right, let's go ahead and dive into that. Right, the first thing, I love this. So this will be like a master class for the folks that are watching this or listening to this podcast. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, what's the net worth? Before you start anything, what is my net worth? If you were to add a dollar value to what you have to offer, so do you have a business? Do you have a service? Do you have a product? What are you offering to the people? What's the net worth of what you're offering? If you were to put a dollar value to that, what will that be? And this is not a subjective. This should be an objective value that you can offer, or that you can honestly say, this is the type of value of things that I'm offering. Well, what is it?
Wait a second. This is so good, by the way. Oh my God. We've never talked about this and I love this. So in terms of establishing premium value, the first thing is you got to ask, first of all, what do I offer? And this is something I've not heard anyone say before, which is, what is the net worth of that thing you offer? In my case, it's millions. And I think literally, I've had clients that are doing 10 million plus a year after implementing some of these strategies, like not that many, but a few. This is such a great question to ask. And you can codify what is my value worth so you can have more value-based pricing. Love this.
Correct. And this will self-determine if you can, right, be placed in certain rooms. Why do I keep talking about certain rooms? Because I've traveled a lot. I've been in several private rooms. There are certain circle of people that will have a conversation at a higher value table, right? They're looking at the value of what you have to offer. And if you can put a dollar sign to that, if you believe that is at a low, well, try to work into increasing that. So you ask yourself, what are the things that I can add to what I'm offering that will increase the net worth of it? So what do I have that I can add to whatever I have to offer, product, service, you name it, that can help me increase the net worth of it? And after you've determined that, now what are the assets that I have and what value do they bring in the things that I'm offering? So for example, you have, let's say you have a coaching business, right? So you have a lot of content to coach somebody, for example, to achieve $6 million in 2 years. Okay, good. But what do you have, right? What are the assets that you have that can sustain what you're about to talk to them about? Asset can be either physical asset or digital assets, right? And what are the value of the asset that you have to attach to that? I cannot tell you how to buy $1 million property, right? Real estate, and I have no asset to back that up, right? That will make me a phony. So this is very important. So what asset do I have that I can present attached to what I have to talk about that will self-validate that without me saying anything, right? That's very, very crucial, which is why you see a lot of quote unquote gurus or people that, have achieved something and now leveraging that, which is done in business over and over and over again, right? Leveraging their success in order to teach you something new. And that is how people are easily, signing up, believing, and want to learn from you because you've already done it. You have the assets to back it up. And so you don't really have to prove yourself or try to sell yourself. And that is a mistake a lot of, newbies do, where they want to talk about something they've never really achieved or didn't really have experience in. And now they go into a sales mode, right? They want to persuade you. They want to convince you that they're the best person. I don't have to. If I've already done it, and have everything to prove, right? That is very important to make sure that you have that in order to sell at a high value. Now, let's continue. Before I continue, do you have any questions?
Hopefully, y'all are taking a lot of notes right now. It's fantastic. I mean, honestly, being able to show the proof, it's basically, instead of trying to convince people of your value, you're letting them make that decision for themselves because you have so much proof or you've had so many results that you've produced for other people. It makes total sense. Please continue.
Fantastic. Yes, exactly. And that helps you land so fast. It's just mind blowing. Now, the third thing you want to do is ask yourself this question. Would you buy whatever you're selling at that price? This is interesting, right? What I said it in that order. So number 3, ask yourself that question. You won't believe how many amazing leaders, entrepreneurs that I'll have the conversation with. Ask them, will they buy their own product at that price? And they'll tell you maybe not. If you don't see yourself buying the product at that price, what makes you think somebody else will want to buy it? This is philosophy, business philosophy 101, because this will affect you whenever it's time to discuss or talk about your genius. And so would you buy it? If the answer is no, then why? Why wouldn't you buy it? Solve that problem, then establish a pricing or a value attached to that you will pay for. And that goes straight back into the self-subscribing to what you have to offer, again, back to people. And so this is not just a mindset thing, it's also a tangible thing that you have to do. Let me ask you a question. Your website, right? Would you pay somebody $50,000, somebody that has the type of website that you have? Would you pay somebody $50,000 that has the same product that you're offering? The systems that you have that will have somebody join your funnel, sign up, subscribe to your newsletter, or anything you have to offer. The way you have it set up for a person that you're asking to pay $50,000 for that, is that something that you think is good enough, or is the solution premium enough that will offer them that premium experience, because the experience matters, right? The type of experience that you give somebody when they come to your dealership, for example, when they're buying a Porsche, that Porsche, the experience they give you, the champagne, the way they hold your hand, the private, meeting room that you sit down in, versus if you go to a different dealership and you have to wait in line and then you sit down in a little cubby and then you wait for 2 hours for somebody to serve you. Think about the experience. That is what we're talking about here. Is the experience that you have worth what you're charging for? If it's not, you may want to rethink it. Why is this? Because rich people, they don't spend money because of your expertise. They mostly spend money because of listen to this. Listen to this. This is very important. They'll pay for convenience. Let me say that again. Rich people pay for convenience, not your expertise, because they can find 1,000 people doing the same thing that you say you do. But the reason why they'll pay you that much money is because of the convenience of it. Rich people love experience. They love premium experiences. That's why they'll prefer flying in a jet versus buying a business class ticket. All right. That's why they'll pay for a limo driver versus getting an Uber driver. There's a reason why you have to change your way of thinking and understand that people that spend at a high level have a different way of thinking. And you need to change the way you structure your business so that it can be appealing to them. And so whenever they just look you up, they're quick to want to spend the money with you.
That's it right there. You're just talking about modeling exactly what you want to sell and showing up in a way that you create that premium experience. And I think what it comes down to is if you want to attract better clients, show up as a better brand.
It's that simple, right? You're trying to attract, top of the line clients, top of the line partners, or brands that to work with you as a creator or small business owner. But you don't look like what you're trying to attract. That will be a problem. All right. This is just understanding the rules of attraction. All right. That is why whenever I show up, I'm intentional about the way I show up. I'm intentional about the way I produce my content. I'm intentional about the way I position my brand, the way I market to my target audience. I am not marketing to the whole world. I'm promoting to a specific type of people. And trust me, those people are ready to spend the money, which is why people travel all the way from everywhere across the United States to come and see me and book me and my team one day in my studio for us to work on their brand. It's not that there are no other studios out there. It's because of how I position it and the type of experience that I'm giving them. And this matters, all right? So here's the thing that I know some of you guys that are listening or watching this may not have heard before. You don't, fake it till you make it. You make it till you fake it. What am I talking about? Well, you make it, right? Meaning you make sure you make the right decisions, right? You set yourself up exactly like you want to show up in order to attract the right people. How do you fake it? Well, the way you fake it is now you're hoping to land that $1 million contract, that $200,000 contract, that $50,000 contract, right? You're faking it. Now that you made the right decisions and you're showing up the right way you're supposed to show up. You've built out a complete funnel. The experience is on point. You know exactly what you're trying to do. Now you're faking it because you have not landed that client yet. You have not landed those customers yet. Now you're faking it to get them, right? And once you get them, your dream will come true. Right? So think about the other way around. Make it till you fake it. And I guarantee you'll be a happy entrepreneur.
JP, how has this ever showed up in your world? Like, how is this, give me an example from you, your life, that makes this very real. Because I get the point, but I'd love to hear it from you.
Fantastic. So, as you guys know, or for the folks that do not know, I have a book, right? My very first book, The Live Stream Blueprint that I released, which is an Amazon bestseller. Here's the thing. Before I released that book, my dream was to be an Amazon bestseller, or at least a bestseller, right? I've dreamed about that. I've never done it. Here's how I faked it. The way I faked it is I positioned myself first as an expert in the subject matter. My book says The Live Stream Blueprint. which means that I'm teaching people. If you read the book, the subtitle says, teaching you how to start or build a business leveraging live video, something like that, right? So here's the thing. In order for me to release a book that will teach you how to, leverage live video to start or build a premium business, I need to position myself as the go-to expert when it comes out to live stream. What did I do? I've started boosting my business leveraging live video. So I've been going live in a premium level. For the folks that don't know, go look me up, go on YouTube and all that. Look at the level in which I do my live stream, the level in which I produce my live stream, which is also one of the reasons why Travis is here today, right? Him and I, we connected. I've connected with so many other amazing entrepreneurs, leaders that join me on my path and say, hey, JP, I want to learn from you the way you are producing your content because it's top of the line. Here's the thing. I made it, intentionally created something of high value in taking the time to spend the money where I needed to, get the knowledge where I needed to, get the support in every area that I needed to in order for that live stream that I release every single week to be top level. And I've done that for at least 3 seasons. Actually 4 seasons before I released my book, right? So I didn't just do it 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And that's where the expectation for a lot of creators or, beginning entrepreneurs they miss the mark, right? Because they always want a return on investment so fast. But you got to understand, when we're talking about high level, you got to be patient, right? There's a certain time frame you will have to wait. And typically it takes the average person to see you do what you do 7 times. But what you don't realize is, let's say, for example, bringing that into the world of live stream, they want to see you going live consistently 7 months before they even think of wanting to work with you. I've had clients and customers that have watched me for 2 years straight. Then they've been at my conferences and different events. And then they turn around and book me to tell me, hey, JP, I've been following you for 2 years. I've been following you for a year. I've been following you for 6 months. Why? Because people that spend a certain amount of money are not going to be hasty in booking you. They want to make sure you are the right person for the job. So that's how I made it. And now the way I fixed it is now I told myself I really want to release a book that will be a best-selling book. So I released a book on something that I've already proven myself, proven to my community, proven to the industry that I was a trusted voice and one of the experts in that field, right? And so whenever I announced with my expertise and my background in everything that I do, that I'm releasing a book surrounding what I talk about the best, guess what? People instantly jumped into there because it wasn't a question of if the book will be a good read or something of value for people. It was, man, how much will it be and how fast can I get it? And that book became a best-selling book for several days on Amazon. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, several days, which is something that was a dream of mine that now is a reality. And so now I can attach to my name, best-selling author. And that is something that's phenomenal. So that's, if you want to put it into real world example, real life example, that's how I was able to, put this into practice and have that, yield real results for me.
And that's exactly why we're here today. I looked at everyone doing eCam, live casting, Stream Deck, putting out shows. I was like, this is the guy to learn from. So I'm just going to put this out there. If any of you are interested at all in showing up as a premium brand online through video, through your website, through social media, jphightek.com/booking. It's exactly what I did. It's why I have this show now. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's because I was like, who's the best? Who do you want to hire? Who's showing up as an example of what they sell? And JP, man, no one does that better than you.
Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. But one aspect that I actually wanted you to also share, I know it's about me today, but one thing that's important, and that will go straight into what we're talking about, is the expectation. Now, Travis, if you don't mind telling people, in reality, how long has it taken you coming with already knowledge of business, knowledge having a clientele, successful business, really spending high ticket clients, right? And also understanding the technology. I didn't teach you the technology. All right. I just mentored you in certain ways of using that same technology that you already knew. And so even though you came to me with that background of knowledge, How long did it take you to even record show number one? Let them know.
Whew, we're at least 5 months in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces to this. There's a lot of ways of creating the brand and the look and how everything's come together and moving around between like different camera angles and JP and all of this and learning how to do that. I wanted to find the best person that we could show like, hey, this is behind the scenes now. Everything that I've had to create, I'm kind of showing you behind the scenes now. But to get here,
Mm-hmm.
it took some mentorship. I call it standing on the shoulders of giants. And I'm always looking for, if I want to see far, if I want to go far, who's the person that's the biggest in the space? And honestly, that was why I was so attracted to working with you. Never did I realize that you would be such a like caring, loving, amazing father, like spiritual man, like someone who's committed to bigger things beyond just business, but happens to have a incredibly successful business and talented in so many areas. I mean, you're a cinematographer, you're great at graphic designs, you know how to code and do apps, and dude, you are like you are a true renaissance man. I want to ask you an additional question that I think that you are highly qualified to do, which is your consistency is bomb. I mean, amazing. So what I really want to know is how do you stay motivated as a content creator? And I think I want to call it the consistency code. How are you able to stay so consistent with releasing content each and every week? I want to know what your top strategies are for doing that. And then I'd also like to get into how do you make money from content creation? Because you also do both. You, one, stay motivated and release content consistently, but you're also damn fine at producing it in a monetary way. So would you go into both of those for me?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be honored. So, like you said, what's the first thing is how to stay motivated, right? In creating content. Here's the reality, right? You need to have a goal in mind. So the question I'll ask you is, what's your end goal? Your end goal will determine how hard you go at it. So you have to tell yourself, all right, what's my, you know, consistency look like? How will I be showing up, right? Understanding that that will establish the trust factor for your potential clients, right? And also prove to the world that you are serious about what you're talking about. So, for example, for me, it was once a week, going live once a week. Now, this is once a week, regardless of what may or may not happen. So you already know how your life is set up. So you know what may or may stop you from achieving or doing what you've set to do. So already put down the solution on overcoming any potential obstacle because you know yourself better. You know you a lot better than anybody else, right? So put those in place so that whenever the adversity come, you already have solution to overcome it and keep going. But what's your end goal? I'm gonna ask you again. What's your end goal? Why, for example, for me, JP, why were you going live once a week? The reason why I was going live once a week was to establish myself as the expert and release a best-selling author book, right? Become a best-selling author. And so in order to achieve that, I needed to establish myself. Whenever you're in the world of media, you need to understand one thing. You have everything to prove. Let me say that again. You have everything to prove. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. When it comes down to content creation, media, video, you have everything to prove. And so if we want to take just one platform like YouTube, right, which I help a lot of people grow on YouTube, YouTube tells you in order for them to even consider you serious or somewhat serious, you have to be doing what you're doing consistently for a minimum of 6 months, 6 to 9 months. That's why YouTube tells you, not JP, that's YouTube. So the algorithm does not even trust you. There's something called YouTube recommended channels or recommended videos. That doesn't kick in unless you've been consistently releasing that same type of content, right? What do I mean by type? Either it's a pre-recorded video, either it's a reel or a YouTube short, or either it's a live stream, right? That same specific type of content. You've been feeding the algorithm that consistently for 6 to 9 months. Then they start trusting you as a resource for that type of conversation, and they'll start recommending you consistently to other people looking for the subject matter that you're discussing on your channel, which will allow you to grow fast. So if YouTube, the algorithm itself, is set up to do that, you need to ask yourself one question: why? It's because the average person need time to really build a relationship with you before they start paying, buying whatever you have to sell. Right? So this is what I tell myself. Like, if I'm going to be even having a break, I'm going to give myself a break. I have to be consistent at least 6 to 9 months before I take my first break, which break is important. All right. But you need to schedule that realistically to your goals, to what you're trying to achieve. So I had that mapped out. I knew exactly the times to take a break. Here's the beauty of it. Whenever you've established that consistency, whenever you've showed up for yourself, for your followers, right? And for your dream, that seriously, you build a community. Now, your community will trust you, trust your brand, trust what you have to offer them. The day you decide to take a step back and take a break, take a vacation, guess what? Your brain is not going to suffer for it. As a matter of fact, it's going to go stronger because now you're showing them that you're a human and that you need that breather. And as long as you set that expectation with them, which is very important, communication. Communicate with the people. Don't get up one day and disappear. So I'm very crystal clear in when I communicate, how I communicate, and why I communicate. So my followers know exactly, okay, JP is taking a month off. JP is tired, and which I just did, right? I have not released any live content for the past 3 weeks. But guess what? The people that follow me, they know JP took a step back. JP told them, listen, I won't be back until this time. I'm taking a break with my family, and they will love you and respect you more for that. Communicate that to them and then come back. When you do that, you can only be consistent. You can only show up, and that will be rewarding for everything you're doing.
I love that. So it's 6 to 9 months is what we're really talking about. I think the thing that we're really going to focus on here, it's being consistent for 6 to 9 months. I think for a lot of people, that's a big dose of reality. I think YouTube.
It is.
I think if you're not willing to get married to YouTube for at least 3 to 5 years consistently, like, what's the point? Don't do it.
Thank you. I'm glad we're talking about that.
Is there any other social media channel that continues to grow after you stop posting? I don't think there is, other than YouTube. Once you've been consistently posting for at least, I think, 3 years, like, you gotta be.
Yes, YouTube is the only one. YouTube is the only platform simply because of the SEO value that YouTube brings, right? Because YouTube videos and content are so heavily ingrained in Google search engine, and that, it keeps growing. And YouTube keeps recommending it. And Google also does the same thing outside of YouTube, which is phenomenal. And that's why it's so important to understand how that is so crucial in the growth of your business, because it literally allows you to grow and keep organic traffic coming through your pipeline, which is, life changing for any business.
Well, it's so hard to rank a blog article or a website on the first page of Google. It literally just is. But videos, I think, are that you do video right and you do video consistently, and you are landing in that first page of search results. You are showing up on the first page of YouTube. And now, I don't know about you, but I watch a lot of YouTube on my big ass TV at home. And so it is first screen right now. And I think because YouTube is like right in my home now, it's not something I'm watching on my little screen. It's not something I'm watching only on my phone or only on my computer. It is first screen right now. Is that the case at your house at all?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have so many. I mean, I have a 75-inch there. And I mean, you name it. I have all those big screens all over the house, right? And so we have YouTube on every single one of them. As a matter of fact, none of my TVs are not smart, right? They're all smart. They're all high quality, and they all have YouTube. I go on YouTube on there all the time. And that goes into telling you that whenever you think about YouTube, don't just think about mobile usage experience. That's why having a high-end production is important, because if you don't take the time to have a good high-end production and then you show up on TV, guess what's going to happen? People will not enjoy watching you or watching your content on their 85-inch television. No, because it's not going to look greatest on there, right? And so you want to think about those customers and who are those that, oh, look at that, we have a like. Who are those that would want to watch you, or who are those that will spend the money and buy 100-inch TV, 95, 90-inch TV, 85? Those are people that really have the space and the money to enjoy and doing that. And my target audience, most of them watch my show on their television. So think about that for a second.
Exactly.
Think TV broadcast and
Yes.
level up, improve what you're doing.
JP, do you think it's necessary to be shooting in 4K? It seems like where we're headed with, 6K, 8K, whatever. Do you think it's important to future proof your content by shooting in higher resolutions, uploading to YouTube so that content becomes more relevant 2 or 3 years down the road from now? I'd love your opinion on that.
Yes, I always preach that you need to future proof everything you're doing. Understanding, like we're just talking about, that YouTube, right, is a search engine, right, because it's owned by Google. So you want to think about 5 years from now. Just go back right now on YouTube, pull a video up that's 10 years old. Even though the conversation might be amazing, are you still enjoying the production? Do you still want to sit down and watch it? The answer is no. Why? Because they didn't think of future proofing that. Or maybe the technology was not available 10 years ago, 15 years ago for them to do it. Here's the beauty: it's available today. Even though televisions or most TVs are not 8K or 76K, guess what? Most cell phones are 4K. So at least I encourage people, future proof your productions. Think about people consuming the same thing and you staying relevant, right, for them because of the quality of your production. So at least I encourage you, if you can, broadcast in 4K. Don't do 720p. 1080p is really if you have no other options, but I encourage you to do 4K. And as you do that, you're thinking, I'm investing to the future. What I'm talking about today will be evergreen and people will always jump on that and they'll always enjoy. Think about the experience again. They will enjoy consuming my content 5, 10 years from today. That's what we're talking about.
Yep, I think that is so true. So I think we're going into something I'd love to cover right now, which is shooting in low resolutions, producing poor quality content. I want to go from thinking this like from missteps to mastery. If we had to avoid some falls, what does JP think the top 3 mistakes are that content creators are currently making? And what do you recommend in terms of how can we not make those mistakes anymore?
Man, oh man, you get into my wheelhouse here, right? Because that's what I do. All right, so the first thing that I see a lot of new content creators mistake they're making is lighting.
Ooh.
Lighting. Listen, I'm a cinematographer. That's how I started everything. Everything I do today. I started as a cinematographer, right? Working on short movies, working, on video, telling the story. That's what I've done. Here's the thing. Regardless of what type of camera you have, the lighting will either shine your production or shun your production. All right. Your lighting will help you tell a story the way you want to tell it. Lighting is more important than the camera that you have. And the mistake that a lot of you creators are making is they're purchasing super expensive cameras and barely spending money on lighting. Let me tell you something that might shock you right now, right? Ring light is not a recommended video light. Okay. So many people spend their money buying ring lights. No, you cannot do that. All right. You need a dedicated video light. You need to ask yourself, what am I buying? Is it for makeup? Is it for still shots? That's what ring light is for, right? You need to buy a dedicated video light. And a video light also requires diffusion. You need to diffuse the light in order for people to enjoy your skin. Your skin cannot be harsh. And so that's very important. Spend a lot of money in lighting. My room that I'm in right now, if you're watching this podcast, would not look like this if I did not have the type of lighting that I have. This is so important because it also helps you keep the skin tone where there's no shift in the colors. Those things are so important, right? So whenever you're using it, you really need to understand that that is going to change your shot and the look that you have. Now, after you've understood the lighting, another mistake that a lot of new creators make, you need to close any external lighting. See, I'm still talking about lighting here, but do not compose your lighting, right? It's called lighting composition with external light. You need your own light that you can control. So anything that's window light, the sun, all of that, those are external and you cannot control those. Remove those, shut them down. So what I do in every studio that I help, customers build or in my own, I have a blackout curtain. The blackout curtain, I do not allow any external light into my studio. Why is this important? Because you need to be able to control the intensity of the light, and you need to compose a consistent image that you give people every single time you show up. It does not matter the time of day that you show up on camera, you must look the same consistently. So the consistency is not just in showing up and creating content, it's also in the way you appear. The consistency in your image, in your camera, in your colors matters to the people that are consuming it. Think about it for a second. If you live in the United States, you know certain brands like Apple or AT&T or T-Mobile, you name it. If you watch their ads, you notice that the way they even create their ad is consistent to their brand. Aha, the way you show up on camera has to stay consistent. Once you start changing that, that will start shifting the focus from the followers, standpoint, the viewership standpoint, and the potential client standpoint, where they will be wondering, hey, maybe he's talking to me. If I were to do the same thing with a different type of colors in my studio, different type of primary or secondary colors, if you understand that those are things we talk about, right? There's a reason why I have the blue, the red, and the white. Those are my brand colors, but even in the video, in the way I dress up, in the things that I have, the accessories that I have in my studio, it tells you, oh, he's even intentional about the color selection. Those things are very important. How intentional are you? That is a mistake a lot of new creators make, where I'll see them looking good on Monday in a different room. And then because they're on a trip, they're traveling, now they're in the hotel room and recording different things. Guess what JP does? JP knows he's traveling. So JP will pre-record, schedule a pre-recorded live to still go out, or announce to my community JP will not be available, depending on where I'm at in my journey, that JP would be taking 2 weeks off and I'll be back with X, Y, and Z. That's very important. Stop trying to show up in different locations that will throw people off. Yes, they love you. Yes, it's not a big deal, but trust me, I always say you do not know which content will be the first content for a new high ticket client. So your content in the hotel room could be the very first experience for a new potential client, high ticket client that might look at that and feel that you may not be the right person. So always be intentional about those things and take the time to be consistent in everything.
JP, so well said. Now, there's something that you say that I love. I listen to your shows, I follow you, love what you do. You have something that you say that I think is really important. You say the balance between, and here's the important part, promoting content and producing content is crucial. And I think a lot of us like to produce content, but is producing content as important as promoting content?
Oh man, yes, yes, and yes, right? Yes, you spend the time, the money, and everything. You're producing amazing content. People are loving the things that you're doing. The quality of what you're releasing is just through the roof. But here's the thing: you're not promoting it. The promotion aspect is the marketing aspect of your content. The same amount that you put into producing, you have to put into promoting. For example, whenever I go live, it's always pre-scheduled, right? I don't just wake up at 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. or whatever I see fit and go live unannounced. No, I don't do that. Why? Because I want to make sure that people show up for the conversation we're about to have. So what do? I pre-schedule that. And after I pre-schedule that on different platform, I take the time to send it to my email list, to send it to everyone. Giving them the opportunity, right, to mark their calendar, knowing that JP is getting ready to go live at a specific day and time, giving them that chance because people are busy. People have lives, they have other things outside of watching you, right? And so they will now incorporate whenever you have that schedule into their calendar or agendas. And guess what? Some people already know if they can show up during the live conversation. Others, they already know that they will be consuming the pre-recorded content. They already know. So that helps them knowing there is a topic that you're about to discuss that's going to help them. And here's what it does. Whenever I promote it to them and I share with all my followers, all my social media platform and all that, I also ask them to share with anybody they know that might be needing this solution we'll be discussing that day. So that gives them an opportunity to help you market the product. Think about this. For example, Apple, I'm going to talk about them again, right? Because they're the number one in the world, right? So Apple, for example, even before Apple releases a product, they announce this to the world. They'll announce a beta version of a software they're about to release. They'll give people the opportunity to test, run that beta, right? And give them a return on how they're liking it so they can perfect it. If it's a phone, they'll already announce what they're trying to do. They'll create ads and everything to give people a feel and have people what? Market that to their community, self-ambassadors of everything they're talking about, so that whenever that drops, people are consuming it. People already planned it, they made the budget, they know exactly they want to upgrade, and all of that, they've incorporated that into their lives. They already start imagining themselves using that product that Apple has announced. That is the same philosophy that I use whenever it comes down to me showing up with content creation or releasing a live video, because you have to market and promote your target audience and give people the chance to discover you. And then from there, they will consume the things that you have to offer them. Hopefully, it's making sense to you.
What JP just shared with you, that's fire. It's kind of I don't think he teaches that or talks about that very much, but it's a real way of amplifying what you're already doing with the person who you happen to be doing it with. Is a great way of doing it. JP, you have something you talk about that I want to make sure we get to before we end this session. And I think it's an important distinction that you talk about differently than I've ever heard anyone else talk about it. It's this concept of marketing versus branding. I think most people are confused about the difference. Are they the same thing? Are they different? I think they're often used interchangeably. Would you explain your take on what's the difference between marketing versus branding? And I know that branding is kind of a term that you own, so I'd love to know your take on this.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. I hope you guys are ready because we're about to go deep into this subject matter right now. All right, folks. All right, so let's talk about branding versus marketing. Now, let's talk about branding real quick. Now, Jeff Bezos, right, the owner of Amazon, will tell you that branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Now, what I said is branding is the essence of what people say about you when you're not in the room. What am I talking about? People can talk about you when you're not in the room because you're the life of the party, because you're such a cool person, or because you're so good at, taking people out on a cruise or whatever it is. But when it comes down to business, the essence, which is the actual specific thing they're talking about, matters, right? So the essence of what people talk about when it comes out to you when you're not in the room is what branding is. And so I'm talking about the DNA, the heartbeat of your business. Your brand is the heartbeat of your business, right? So I know some people will say, oh, well, yeah, is the logo, your fonts, your colors? No, those are part of the essence, right? Is a group of a certain amount of things put together that represents your heartbeat. And we understand whenever it comes down to your heart is beating not by itself. You need blood flow going into it, right? You need oxygen going. So there's a lot of things that will allow your heart to beat correctly. And so your brand are all the things that put together will allow you to tell a story. Let me make it easy for you. Brand is usually purpose-based, but the business is usually profit-based. Okay? A business is usually profit-based. A brand is usually purpose-based. So ask yourself, what's my purpose? Why am I doing this? Don't just focus on profit or making money, but what's the purpose behind it? Why is this important? Because a brand will last through generations, but a business will have a lifetime on the shelf. Think about that for a second. Do I want my brand to stay even after I'm gone? If we go back to the story of Apple, we know the four founders of Apple are not with us today. But is Apple still good? The answer is yes. Why are they still good? Is because of the purpose, the why behind them creating their product the way they created. So if I were to ask you, what's the why behind your business, the way you do business? Can you answer that? That's what's going to stay. And in everything you do, this is what I tell my clients, in everything you do, make sure your why is always present. In everything you do, make sure your why is always present. Marketing, I talked about branding right now. Marketing is the way you take that brand to people for them to consume. So marketing is how you're promoting your brand to people. That's what marketing is. So in essence, you cannot be in the market. You cannot go out to the market, to the people, to the masses, if you have not clearly defined what your brand is. Because if you just have a business and the only thing you're promoting is, I can do this for you, I can help you solve this problem, I'm here, pay this service, and then I can provide this. Well, the question people will ask you is, why should I go with you versus 10 other competitors that have the same solution? You see, now the way you separate yourself is the why, because we all have a different story. We all have a different reason why we're doing what we're doing. And depending on your why, now you will connect with a specific type of people that will identify with that why. And now those people will already want to support you, promote you, and take your word to the world because they know these are the right people to book for this type of job. And so take the time to really dive deep into your story and understand that whenever you build that brand, marketing comes easy. Let me say that again. Whenever you've built that brand, marketing comes easy. It's easy to share with the world your why and invite more people connect with your story. It comes easy. And that is marketing when it comes down to branding. Now, here's the thing. A lot of creators, I'm going to close with this. A lot of creators believe they can do it all. Let me tell you something. You can try it all, but you're not an expert in everything. Let me say that again. You can try it all, but you're not an expert in everything. The fact that you have a camera does not make you a cinematographer. The fact that you own Canva does not make you an expert graphic designer. The fact that you have a car does not make you a professional racer. You get the point. You can try it all, but you cannot do it all. Doing it means you're the expert. Understand the areas in which you need help, get that help, re-strengthen those areas, and run to the market so the world can embrace your genius and you can start making money, because that's what this is all about.
So well put, JP Hightek. I acknowledge you for everything you've been for me, my business, and my life. I appreciate you more than I can possibly say. You've made a huge difference in my business and what I'm doing and the message that I'm putting out into the world. So I want to say thank you for that. I want to let anyone who's remotely interested to know where to go to connect with you. So I think that what I want to do is let's take a look at where are the places to connect with JP Hightek. So I'm just going to bring up a few places that I first learned about doing this, and let's see it. This is where I first learned about
Yeah.
JP. This is where I got connected with you first when I was looking for what to do. I went to your YouTube. So I think this is a fantastic place to connect with you. Tell us about where we should go and look when we're on YouTube trying to connect with you.
Absolutely. So you go on YouTube. Of course, handle is at JPHIGHTK for the folks that are listening to the podcast. But go to my YouTube channel. And of course, just go and go to connect or about, right? Go to the about section. On the about section, you see everything that you need, or in the description of every single video on my YouTube channel. I always put ways and places to connect with me, how to send me a message, how to, get into my email. All of that is over there. Just go on YouTube and do that. But hey, besides that, I love networking. I always say network is the new currency, right? When you network, you grow. And I want to connect with you. So connect with me on social media. LinkedIn, same handle, JP Hightek. Instagram, same handle, JP Hightek. Like, connect with me. Facebook, same thing, JP Hightek. Let's grow together. Let's connect. And of course, if you have any question, DM me. I would love to hear from you. And because I believe we're all part of this world and we're all one big family. So let's grow together.
JP, I so appreciate you being part of mine. This has been amazing having you on the show today. Make sure to go connect with JP, jphightek.com. Turn your brand from just a brand into a personal brand. JP, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh